Hello, Heroclix land. Welcome back to Talking Clicks, where we celebrate the heroes of Heroclix. I'm your host, Wespool. With me, as always, is Scott the Missing Link.
Good evening.
Hello, Scott. We have a very special episode tonight. I don't know about you, but I've got wood.
Yeah, tonight we have Claywood.
Hey everybody, what's up?
Hey, the legendary Clay Wood. Sorry.
So is it more clay or more wood?
Oh, damn it. Beat me to
Well, since we're divulging secrets, my first name is actually legally Russell. Clay is my middle name. And now everybody knows. So if
So
you send
your
me
slave
if you
name is
send me
Russell.
email, if I get like a telephone call, it's like, hello, is Russell Wood there? I'm like, oh, this is somebody I don't want to talk to.
I'm under the same boat. My middle name is Scott.
Ah,
My slave name is something else.
yeah. There's a few of us. I've heard. I don't know. I've heard it's like a southern thing. I've heard it's more popular down in the south. I don't know if that is true or not, but my dad's side of the family is from Mississippi, and so I don't know if they stole it from that or what. But
Awesome. So I have the first burning question. Do you
let's
think
do it.
people should worry about AI? And what about
Oh
you?
my God, there's no softball warm up in this interview. Wow. So right, should people be worried about AI? Yeah, I think there's a lot to be worried about AI. I
Okay.
mean, I think.
What about you? Are you
Yeah, I actually am worried. Like, it's a kind of a, I've had a lot of conversations with friends. Like, wow. So
you're not should people be worried about you?
should people be worried about me?
Yeah.
Should people be worried about me because of AI?
Yeah.
Or
I mean
uh,
both.
I don't think people need to be worried about me, man. I'm good. But AI is like a really disruptive technology, and with any big disruption, I think like there are people who are disrupted, and I think that human beings are like super resilient. We will figure out how to get through this, but it may require massive change, in the way that like we work, like we operate as human beings. And I think that the thing that's really blown my mind, so my career, my background, which probably is not a surprise to anybody, is that I'm a software developer. And so, like I kind of got into this knowing that like there's going to be major changes to my career over the course of my lifetime. And I think what we see is that technology is affecting everybody these days, and nobody is immune from disruption. It's not like 300 years ago, it was like, oh, my dad was a tailor, and his dad was a tailor, and his dad's dad was a tailor, or and then, or you have the last name Smith because like you come from a long line of blacksmiths. Apparently, my people lived in the woods, so that the woods of England, where I'm like Gypsy's family or something. I don't know. Anyway, so but yeah, no, like the pace of change has continued to accelerate, and now I think we see everybody feeling disrupted throughout the course of their lifetime, and it's really tough. But anyway,
So what
this
does
is
the
like
U
a way
stand for in
longer
AI?
conversation. We could talk for hours about this.
What does the U stand for in AI?
What does the U
Messing
stand?
with you. AIU. It's all vowels.
I hope the U would stand for user. That I hope that AI benefits the user of whatever product it's being integrated into.
Okay, so have you tried it with HC units and making AI build a team for you?
Not yet. No. So I've actually had a few people ask me about that. I've not really used AI in any part of HC units, either for the development or for playing with the ability to create teams and other content. It's kind of on my short list of things to do once I get out from underneath all the backlog of all the events and everything. But yeah, I want to start playing with it more, figure out ways to make the whole system better, and then it'd be interesting to see what it would come up with in terms of teams.
So
I don't
I've
know if it
actually
will come up with anything innovative, because I think there's a lot of complexity. And even though we have the data about what does well, it may just like simply tell us like what we already know, because that's what people are playing.
So I've actually been playing a lot with AI recently because I'm working on my nonprofit, and I'm using AI to kind of assist me through like the legal stuff and writing things up. And I was playing around with it one day. I'm like, I wonder how it would do with making a team. And before I actually dove into it, I kind of just asked the AI kind of how it would access the information, what kind of pick its brain about how it would do it. And the thing is, specifically, ChatGPT is very outdated as far as the information it has access to. So if Flat told me I could do it, but I'm not up to date on the current rules and stuff, and it doesn't have the access to HC units to be able to access that information. So to do it with AI would require it being able to fully integrate with your software, or somehow it has up to date information about the powers and abilities and how the interactions work. But right now, it doesn't have that capability.
Yeah, and I think there's I I think the first step would be trying to understand the game well. I think it was I think it was Wes Summers, the other Wes, who was playing with an AI chatbot to be like a judge or rules arbiter. And he had done, he showed me a demo that he had. It was running through Discord. It was pretty cool. But this is about a year ago, and I'm not actually sure what happened to that. So I need to follow up with him. But that would be the first step. I think you need to understand. I think it needs to understand the game, and then probably understand the units, and then start to understand the interaction between those.
If you want a good pat on the back, though, you should put your team into ChatGPT, and it'll tell you, "Oh, this team is great. It can do this. You're balanced." No, this team's terrible. What are you talking about, ChatGPT?
So, for our listeners out there who aren't aware, Clay Wood is the founder and originator and programmer of this program called HC Units. I don't know if you ever heard of it.
Units.
It's a slightly used program in building teams across Heroclix land, but not everybody actually knows your name. Like, you're famous amongst the more competitive players, but like I mentioned your name to my locals one day, and you're like, "Who?" I'm like, you don't know Clay? Like, how do you not know Clay Wood? So Clay is the person who invented HC Units, and I remember I was at Gen Con shortly after you rolled it out, and I was at the appreciation event, and one of the questions was, "Hey, you guys, Wizkids, have you guys heard this thing called HC Units?" They're like, "No, I never heard of it." And they started explaining to her, like, "We should check that out." And then shortly after that's when it really took off for you.
Yeah, I really have to. I give like big kudos to the community. I wasn't there. I've heard this story, and I love this story. But yeah, I think it was shortly thereafter that Wizkids actually touched base with me, and that we started to work together in a little bit more close capacity. And it's kind of like, so yeah, it's kind of ended up in the relationship that we have today. They had actually suggested, hey, like, we have this whole problem. We have the win. We want to retire it. It kind of has a lot of problems, and it's expensive to maintain. And hint, hint. Would you ever like to build a new event system? And then, and then like shortly after that, like Howard was chatting with Howard at H4H, and he's like, Clay, we really need a new event system or something like that. So I sat down and I knocked that thing out. It took me about 2-3 months to just like very, very long days. And then of course it was, it didn't have nearly the capabilities that it has today, but yeah. So I do have a relationship with Wizkids at this point, and I think it's funny going back, because that was kind of the beginning of it. And now I think we have a very positive relationship. But so, yeah, I always run into people. People seem to know HC Units pretty well. I don't necessarily know everybody, but I've been trying to do the competitive circuit more frequently these days. I know I apologize. I have not yet made it to Red, White, and Clix, but it's on my list. And and it's fun because every time I go to a convention, I end up meeting somebody new. Yeah.
Well, I actually owe last year's success to you, because you were on call when something funky happened, and Scott blew up the system, and you were on call walking us through how to fix it on site, and it would have been a mess without you. So
I'm happy. It was probably my fault. I probably made something that had a bug, or that I can't remember the details, to be honest. I have a lot of bugs.
It had me all I could do is promise. I needed to be in seat C, and it kept messing it up every time.
Well, oh yes, I remember that. That was a really bad bug. I'm sorry about that. I that was this last what, the last
November.
this
Yeah.
this past November. Yeah, that was a really bad bug, and I've had a couple of those pop up, and it's I don't want to go into all the technical details, but it's been a pain in the butt hunting all those things down.
So
it's been a symptom of me moving to some different database solutions that are much more resilient and allow us to scale to be able to handle hundreds, if not thousands, of players. That's fine.
So who else on the team with you that does HC units?
That's a great question. So for the most part, it is just me. Although I have some really so I do all the programming, I do all of the, I own all the server infrastructure and everything. The everything is pretty much under my name, but I'm really bad at artwork, and so I have a number of people who help me with art who are really good at it. And let's see, Corey Franklin does all of the unit art that you see on every unit card. Oh my gosh, so many people to name. I have it on my website because I always forget about it.
No, I was just asking. I mean, like, you have a team of people. It's not just all Clay.
For the most part, it is me. I enter all of the units manually. I still, to this day, get all of the data off of social media, the same as you guys. And so, and then I do my best to collect all of it so that I can make sure that if there ever is an issue, a typo or whatnot, that I can go back and, correct it. So
that was going to be a question of mine is, HC Units is famous for being like right on top of it. Like HC Realms was always behind the eight ball for days and weeks, sometimes months. And when something new drops, whether it's a rules change or a sneak peek of a figure, it is updated to the system immediately. Do you get a heads up from Wizkids on any of that, or do you just Facebook's blowing up? I gotta put something in.
I'll tell you my deep dark secret, guys. I have no life whatsoever. No, so I very rarely get a heads up from Wizkids. I think this past week when we had the change for the move to strength of schedule and away from a score-based tiebreaker system, that was actually one of the rare instances where they did consult with me. I think because they did not want to announce something that was not technically possible. So kudos to them. They did the right thing. I had no idea about the map menu change though. So this past week has been a pretty busy week as I've been scrambling to do all this stuff. But no, I don't get to. I can't even think of it when I've ever had a heads up about erratas. The only thing I can say is sometimes I have a heads up in that when I go and manually enter all of the data, I end up finding a lot of errors, typos, inconsistencies. People will report it to me, and then I have a channel to Wizkids through which I can communicate those issues, and so they will often fix them in a later update. But when that update occurs, I have no idea. I just know that there's a problem and that it's been communicated.
I know that I don't know how many people respond to you or post or just question you on the fly, because if they have something that they're not able to find in HC Units, like I had an issue with map bonuses and I sent it over to you and you're like, oh yeah, I overlooked that, and it was like there by the end of the day. Yeah. I'm like, holy cow.
I try to fix stuff. There is a lot of stuff that's like super easy to fix, and I mean honestly, like the site is as good as it is because of the great suggestions that people give to me. And so I do try to keep up to date. The nice thing about not having a team, and I think HC Realms kind of suffered from this, is like I don't have to. I'm not accountable to anybody. I get to make the changes as soon as I want to make them. I don't have to like consult to anybody. I don't have to talk to a boss to see if I can push some data. I just do it whenever I want to do it. And I like to do it all the time. So
okay, I have a suggestion then.
All right, please, let's hear it.
I have 50 teams in my list. I know that it charges you somehow, some way for all that data. I want to go through there and delete bunches of them at one time instead of open it, delete, check, go back to the team, go back to the screen, and do another one. Is there a way to just delete from the list, the team lists?
Sadly, no. This has actually been something that many people have asked for, and I don't know why I've been so bad about getting around to like better team management. I like folders and like organizational things would be super helpful. I guess I've just been lazy. I started to try to work on it at some point, and it was like a little more challenging than I had thought it would be, because I'm like, oh God, I am building Google Drive here.
So
This is a lot of work. Maybe I should not fall down this rabbit hole that's going to take me, weeks of work to do well. I don't know.
could you
Maybe
just
I
put
so I
a
became a
trash
victim of
icon on the outside of the box and be like, okay, delete?
I I should do something like that. I think what I need to do is to move to a different type of interface rather than what I call the little card headers, um, because it doesn't scale very well. Like if you start to like do more and more and more and more, then it just keeps getting longer and longer. And I need to overhaul that whole UI. That's something that I created, I don't know, geez, years ago now, and it was good enough and hasn't ever been it's never at the top of the list for the thing that's most egregiously broken. So I never get around to fixing it. But I know a lot of people would love to have better organization, and deleting it. Bulk delete is like a commonly requested feature.
So I have two more questions about units before we move on to the actual Claywood hero.
Oh, nobody wants to know about me. Come on, Wes.
No, we gotta
Everybody
know
wants
about
to
this
talk
guy that
about
has no
H
life.
units.
One question I have is, and I already know the answer, but I'm going to ask it anyway for the audience, is do you get annoyed with the constant suggestions?
Oh, not at all. I love it. Yeah, I mean, you can ping me 24/7. I may not get back to you immediately, but I love getting the suggestions from people, even little minute stuff. In fact, I realized I wasn't doing a good enough job of keeping on top of it all, and so I added a feature. There's a little, like, if you're looking at units, you can flag the unit, and it'll give you the option to put in feedback. Like if you see like little details, like even a typo. I want the best, well curated data out there. It drives me nuts when you go, peruse like realms and you see typos from stuff from like 10 years ago that was never fixed. It drives me bonkers. So I just want to make sure that we fix everything. So even little suggestions like that, I love. Bigger suggestions, I definitely would take. I try my best to get to them. Some things are more difficult than others, so I can't promise anything.
All right. So comment below any suggestions you have or comments for Clay, because he hurt himself. He has no life. And he'd be watching the comments for your comments. The other question I had is I'm always curious when somebody has something that's gigantic and it started from nothing. And is this where you pictured HC units getting to? Did you picture something bigger? Is this beyond what you imagined?
Yeah, I think the whole thing's been way more successful than I had ever imagined. I never thought it would be like, that it would replace or even compete with Realms. Quite honestly, like,
Come on, we got to give a little credit to Nexus also.
Oh, and Nexus, yeah, no, they do a great job as well. I built this thing, honestly, like it started out. I just was sick. I was building all these teams at the time when I was building it. You guys probably remember this, but the team swap mechanic was very popular.
Yes.
And it was like X-Men swaps, Fantastic Four swaps.
Fantastic Four. I had such
Avengers.
a hard time.
It was such a pain in the butt keeping track of everything that you swapped in or out. So I was using spreadsheets. And so I had these like ridiculous spreadsheets. And I'm like, I am a programmer. Why am I using spreadsheets to keep track of all this? And it is, I have like paid HC Realms years. And I'm like, I say, I will keep paying you. I just want you to like allow me to save my team. And it never, ever happened, ever. After years, I'm like, you know what? This is never going to happen. I'm going to have to just do it myself. And so it really started as like a way for me to save these teams. And then I'm like, well, if I'm saving it, it's like not much more work to be able to share it with people. And so, because Pat Upoko on his website, the Majestics website, used to post all of the tournament results. And you see the team builds. And like at the time, like people were posting like their handwritten scribbled build sheets, posting those on Facebook. And it was so hard to decipher what the heck is going on. And so, like, or what people are playing. Yeah, exactly. Right. And so I'm like, what if we just like allow people to share the team so that you can just read it. So you can just basically understand what the heck this team is doing. And then how nice is it to be able to like look at that team and then just click on the unit and see what the card is. So I don't have to like cross-reference between HC Realms and my, spreadsheet or however, or my screenshot or however I'm storing. And then it just kind of like grew from there. Like I mentioned with the event system, had some people recommend that. What I actually wanted to do and where it really diverged was the event system. I never planned on doing that originally. What I really wanted to do and what I'd still love to do at some point is I wanted to start tracking all of the trades on eBay, the sales of units on eBay, collecting data around the prices of units and be able to see how it fluctuates over time. And then basically just give people like a sense for what a unit what is the fair market value of the price of a particular unit, so that like, and then facilitate trades. Like, oh, let's say, Wes, you have these like, you want to trade like a whole set of Black Lanterns for my whole set of, I don't know, of Avengers or something like that. Is that a fair trade? Instead, it's really hard to calculate. It's like, oh, it's such a pain in the butt. I have to go to eBay and like figure out the prices of these things. And it's like, I don't want to get ripped off. It would have been nice to have a tool that does all of this for you. And I never got around to it. I did investigate it. It's like really hard to pull data off of eBay. They make it really hard to get that data. And then getting the data off Facebook is like impossible. You never know whether or not a trade goes through or not. And so, I'd love to get back to that at some point, but honestly, I'm so busy with all the other stuff. It seems like an impossibility. So that's where things were radically different from what I expected.
All right, Scott, wrap up your questions about units and then we'll move on to him.
I just want to tell him thank you. The custom units, creating the custom units, I know you don't have a point system in there. I love the whole setup for it, because if I need to create something, all I got to do is go in there. I haven't tried printing a dial off of the units yet, so I can will you print me a sculpt and then I could just make my own Clix to play at home.
That whole section is like probably the most underloved part of HC units. I know some of the people, and so thank you, Scott. Like I know there's a bunch of people out there who are super into it, and I always screw them up because I'll push changes and I break it all the time. And I'm so sorry to all you guys who spend so much time playing with that tool. I don't put as much time into that as I probably should, but
I still love it.
I'm glad you enjoy it. Yeah.
If you can make a way to print the dial off of it,
you should check out. I think it's called Clix Maker.
Yes, I've used Clix Maker.
They actually have like the best artwork, and I was looking at what they were doing, and they were like, I think my interface is a little bit better than theirs, but their final result was so much nicer than what I was doing. And so I actually like collaborated with them for a while and got some of the art that they were doing. And then, I wanted to make it interoperable between the two sites and I never got around to that. So that's totally on me, but you should check that out. I think they have very good print support.
Yes, they do. That was my last thing about HC units. Right. Thank you. We're not worthy.
I am not worthy to have you guys as users, so thank you.
All right, let's get into the gist of the hero of Heroclix. You got any nicknames we should know about?
Not really. I mean, Jesus, like a teenager, my friends called me Woody, but I feel like that's like everybody who has the last name Wood.
So you don't have Andy written on the bottom of your foot?
No. And I was having this conversation with my kids. They're like, "That's so dirty. Why would anybody call you Woody?" Anyways, that hasn't been a nickname for a very long time.
All right. Who is taller, you or Dan Powell?
Oh, I think I might beat him by an inch. I think he's 6'4" and I'm 6'5".
You're right. Taller.
Not by a much, though.
I've seen both of y'all. You're taller. You're not by much.
And then when Lucas is with us, we're like the trees.
Yeah. Guys should be in the front of the picture instead of in the back.
Yeah, that's the curse of being tall. I'm always relegated to the back of the room.
Right.
Do you ever get tired of people asking you to play basketball?
I do play basketball. I love basketball. I actually got into basketball because I'm like, wow, I'm going to be really tall. I really feel like I owe it to my fellow mankind to play basketball. But I don't play much these days. It's hard as I've gotten older, had some injuries, and it was never really that great. I had some really great kids that I played with in high school. They were phenomenal players.
All right,
But,
Wes, how old is he?
Okay. So I actually know. Well, if your Facebook is accurate, I know because I was spying on you earlier. Is your Facebook accurate?
Probably. I don't know why it's not. Yeah.
Okay.
So how old is he, Wes?
1 year older than me, so I'd make him 47.
Yeah. You born in 1980?
Yep.
Ah.
But you look like you're 34.
Oh, well, thank you. That's very nice.
If I hadn't noticed that on your Facebook, I would have said 34.
Wow. Well, California treats me well. I'm from Michigan originally. I don't know if you guys knew that.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that.
Grew up in the Midwest, but moved out here after college because it turns out I do better when I'm able to exercise year round. And California is a little easier than Michigan in that regard.
So, how does it feel to be a graduate of a loser college like University of Michigan?
It's funny. I really kind of take it for granted. I think, to be quite honest. Growing up in Michigan, that was really the best. That was the best option. That was affordable to me. That was within reach, and I'm very lucky. Like it was an amazing option, and it really has provided me with a lot of the opportunity in my life. And now I meet people out here in California, like their kids, like, oh my God, I'm trying so hard. My dream college is to go to University of Michigan, and I'm like, really? Why would you want to go there? But then I realized, actually, like for out of state, for a lot of people, that it really is a great school. They have a really, really good engineering program. I am a product of that program, and so I really appreciate. I've come to appreciate my background much more as I've gotten older. I was also very spoiled. I did work at Google for a very long time. Many of my coworkers were from places like MIT and Harvard and Stanford. And so I kind of always felt like I was like the runt of the litter, which is this is a weird group of people to run around in circles with. But I'm very, very privileged for the life I've had and the opportunities that have been given to me.
So you said you had children. Do they play Heroclix?
I have 3 kids, 2 sons and a daughter. My two boys do play whenever they have time, which is increasingly less these days. They're 16 and 14. My daughter's 12, and my wife has them involved in everything you could possibly imagine to prevent them from ever getting to play Heroclix with me.
So, being the fact that you are so neck deep in the digital world, I'm surprised you're so deep into a physical game.
I mean, I definitely play my share of video games. I love it. But I think the reality is I love the social aspects of gaming. I think, I mean, sure, we all have experiences when you play online video games. Like people do not hold back. There's a massive level of toxicity within those communities, and that I myself am like, I also have been known to like be a very toxic player because you just feel like that anonymity provides you a shield. What is it? I can't be punched in the face. And I like being able to just I like being able to meet people, go to conventions, go to a store, and form those social circles. Most of my friendships throughout my life have actually revolved around gaming. And so, and I really love the physical tactile aspect of Heroclix. I think there's I actually think there's this. Yeah, I remember playing Heroclix online, and it actually it felt very clunky, quite honestly. And I don't think that was like due to bad programming or anything. It was very good. I thought it was very good from a programming perspective, but there's just something really nice about being able to like have all these pieces and turning the dial and like rolling the dice, and it's I don't know, it's a really great experience.
Here we go.
Pop dice.
Oh, nice.
Do you like pop dice?
I do not use those. I probably should because I'm really, really bad. When I get nervous, which is like all the time, my hands start shaking and I can't keep the dice on the table to save my life. So I probably should move to pop dice.
They're terrible. Don't use them.
Terrible.
The noise.
Oh, that sounds great.
No, you got to do it 3 times according to the rules.
Ah.
You're using pop dice to make sure it works. So you got to click it 3 times.
All right, can you go fix Roll20 dice for me, please?
No, I can't do that at all. No, I have no idea what's going on with their program. I know people always talk about how bad Roll20 dice are, but
it works. Their dice, if you read the articles on it, it works. So if all 3 of us were playing, it just so happens that one guy is going to get all the ones. But throughout the day or throughout the experience, the dice are average.
See, I'm used to like physically rolling dice and never being able to hit a D6 roll to save my life. So, yeah, I guess I'm just used to having bad dice rolls in reality. So like, virtual dice don't seem any different.
All right. What's my next question here? Oh, so you say you're a programmer now. What's the worst job you've ever had?
Oh, worst job. I guess the worst job I had was probably like this. As I was getting close to graduating college, I had a lot of computer like tech support experience, but I had never really done any programming. And so I felt like I needed to start to build this resume. And so I started looking at internships and nobody wanted me. And so I started looking at co-ops, meaning like I ended up having to take a whole year off of school, and I worked out in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And it was like a very conservative part of the state and of the country. And so I was working at this place called X-Ray. They have some actually really interesting technology. They measure color. And so if you ever go to like a hardware store and you like, oh, I need this, I need the paint that I buy to look exactly like this color chip that I have torn off of my wall from home. Well, they are the ones who manufacture and sell this machine that measures the color of that and then tells you how to tint the paint in order to match that color. And they also like measure the color of cars so that the color around the whole car is consistent. It's very actually interesting technology. The company itself was not as sophisticated. I remember my boss at the time, I spent, instead of like me learning from him, I immediately started teaching him like basic fundamentals of computer science that I had learned in my introductory classes because he did not know these things at all. He ended up bailing to go on like a mission 6 months into the time that I was there. And I remember distinctly like sitting in the break room and people were watching TV at the time, and they were watching, they were watching the news, and they were at the time, I don't know if you remember, in like the early 2000s, there was a group of people that were overseas destroying all of these Buddha statues out in Asia, and the people around the TV were cheering them on, and I'm like, wow, there's like so anti, like if you're not Christian, they're so unhappy with all these people that they're just destroying any other religion they're happy with. Well, come to find, if you remember this story, but the group of people that were destroying these Buddha statues were actually the Taliban. The group responsible for so many of the terrorist and honestly wars that we have fought in the time since. And so it was wild to me to think that like these people at the company were cheering on the Taliban. And I guess at the time they didn't really quite understand the consequences of what they were doing. But anyways, so to me, I'm a little bit more, I'm fairly centrist, but I'm a little bit more liberal, left-leaning, to be quite honest. I don't want to bring politics in this, but there was a big personality match. People there were far more conservative than I was, and I didn't necessarily agree with their values. But I was younger. I was more of a firebrand. I'm a little more chill these days. But anyways, that would be the worst job I had. But I know that they're
Recruiting for the Taliban. Yeah, that's a pretty bad
yeah,
gig.
yeah. But in the whole scheme of things, not the worst job ever. So
All right, so I want to take it, the audience, all the way back to the beginning. How did you get started in Heroclix?
yeah, the first I'm a pretty late bloomer compared to a lot of people. I feel like I started playing, yeah, listening to some of your other episodes. Like, yeah, people, come from the beginning. I started with Giant Size X-Men, so around 2011, 2012, something in there.
Yeah.
And at the time, I had just had my first son, or was about to have him, and my wife and I were getting into board games because we're like, we need stuff to do when we're stuck at home and we can't go out and we have to just let the baby sleep. And so we started playing a lot of board games. And so I was always on all these board game sites. And I remember looking at Cool Stuff Inc. and they had this Giant Size X-Men and they're like, advertising and they have these really cool pictures. And I grew up, like when I was middle school, I read comics and was a total geek. And so I'm like, wow, this looks amazing. I have to go check this out. And so I had called around a bunch of comic stores and figured out where they sold them and found a place that was about a half hour from where I was living and went down there and I bought some packs and I was immediately hooked. I think I went home and started buying cases online, and then I show up at the store the next week and I have this full collection and they're like, what? Didn't you just come here a week ago asking what this game is? But the guys that I played with were awesome. They closed the store down and we played like a private game every Sunday night. It was a giant battle royale. Like we'd push maps together, have like 10 people on the same map. And we'd play every single weekend, every Sunday night. Many games would go till like 3 a.m. It was insanity. It was probably some of the fondest memories of this game I ever had. But that's how I got started. And I've never really been much of a competitive player. I've been trying to get into it a little bit, but honestly, I will never be as good as some of these other guys. And so
it's a knack in getting that competitiveness, just to learn the placements and the positioning. That's to me where most of the game is played, is the position.
Yeah, I'm not a bad player. I don't know if I'll ever be. I don't think I will never be a champion player like some of these guys. Honestly, if it was up to me, every game would be sealed or a battle royale. That's where I really
your Giant Size X-Men. Cameron Hodge, yes or no?
Cool sculpt. I'm glad they made the character. What was it? Extinction event or what was that?
Extinction event.
Yeah, that was like one of the first big crossovers that I ever read as a kid. So lots of nostalgia vibes there. The piece itself is pretty horrible, but I thought it was cool that they made it.
The sculpt was awesome. I love the sculpt on it.
Yeah, had a peanut base. It was very interesting. I felt like he was overcosted for what he did, but it's been a while since I saw that piece. So
legacy card, yes.
Maybe. I love legacy cards. I think the legacy cards are one of the most ingenious things that WizKids has done of recent memory.
So more or less or same amount of legacy cards per set?
I feel like they could bump it up a bit. It's been interesting. I was reflecting on this recently. When they first started making the legacy cards, they went all the way back to the really old sets, right? Infinity Challenge. Thanos was like one of the first big bads. And these days it seems like they've been really hesitant to go far back. And I feel like Web of Spider-Man has been the oldest that we've gotten in recent memory. There's like a whole decade of Heroclix that are not being clixed. When you guys had your show last week, you're talking about the Superman with the the throwing the rock. I can't believe that guy has not had a legacy card. His stats are phenomenal still to this day. Like, he's a great piece to.
He's a lot of points though.
Yeah, but they could drop the points with the legacy card.
Like 50% off.
Yeah, that would be he would be a champion piece. If he was done right. So
I still haven't figured out what their formula is for picking legacy figures, because Sometimes it's a figure that was awesome and everybody loved at the time. They want to see it again. Sometimes it's just an awesome sculpt. Sometimes it's a piece that nobody's ever heard of and it's a common and everybody has one. I haven't figured out exactly what they're trying to do with legacy cards. Are they trying to give a spotlight to something that didn't already have a spotlight, or are they trying
Yes, it's all
to
of them.
bring it back?
It's all
I
of
don't
them.
know. I don't really have any inside scoop here. My guess is that the people who designed the game have, some favorite figures. I think I think I can speculate and throw out a few guesses. So first of all, I'd say there's a class where it's like, they designed a figure the first time, it didn't quite land the way they wanted it to for whatever reason, and so now they want to go back and fix it and make it like a more interesting and perhaps playable figure. There's definitely a class like of figures that are like, hey, we have a bunch of these sitting around the warehouse. We need to figure out how to move these. Spirit of Vengeance, Red Hulk,
Yeah.
Galactus.
Sinestro.
And honestly, that's cool, man. It's better than it landing in a dumpster somewhere. I'm glad they're out there getting used. And and then there's probably some figures that are based on nostalgia for different people, but I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know what their process is. You know what? The last would probably be constraints around licensing. I know that's always an issue for them, and even for legacy cards. So just because they produced it in the past doesn't mean that they can get the license to reprint something. So
All right. So where do you live and where do you play?
Yeah. At the moment, I live in Los Angeles area. Specifically, I'm in Santa Monica. I play mostly at a venue out in Artesia, which is like an hour drive when there's no traffic. And that's at a venue called Atomic Comics. They're a great story. They've done a really good job building a community. I've been trying to play get a local a venue that's closer to me, only about 10 minutes away, called Paper Heroes Games, and they're kind of on the border between Santa Monica and Westwood. I'm trying to build a community there. So
what day do you all play?
I wish I could say that there was like a regular time that I played. Most of they don't run regular events, or if they do, I don't make it. We're trying to get something regular going out at Paper Heroes, so I am there whenever there's a sealed game. I try to make it there for the competitive stuff, although these days I've kind of been boycotting silver. I'm not a fan of silver, to be quite honest. I'm sorry that's going to disappoint some people. It's especially become very hard having lost the collection that I once had in the fire that
was where I was going to go to next, was the fire.
Yeah. So I think a lot of people know this. I had a very, very extensive collection of Heroclix, probably like 90% of everything that was made. Every single thing was lost in the fire. We're still trying to figure out a plan to rebuild our house. We're living in kind of a rental at the moment. And it's a very nice rental. At least the situation has improved significantly from a year ago. Last year was honestly horrible. We were in 6 different places. We got moving every couple months. What a mess. The situation's great now. I've been slowly rebuilding my collection, but it's like I still am missing so many key figures. And every time they put out legacy cards, I'm like, I used to have that. Now I don't want to pay $100 to have this figure that I used to have like 3 of before it. So it pains me to my core. And I run into this constantly with silver. And so I've been kind of boycotting silver.
So the community kind of came together and tried to send you a bunch of stuff after that happened. How did that pan out for you? Did you recollect a lot of things from that?
The community was amazing. I apologize for not leading with that. Everybody was so nice. It was very overwhelming at first, but eventually, I think a lot of people sent their stuff to Dave Newmark. He did pass it on to me. there wasn't a ton of stuff that was like super valuable. There were a few things. I think Az gave me a Kevin, which was very, very nice of him. And there were some other good pieces, some other gems, hidden gems in that collection, but a lot of it was like commons and uncommons, just to start building my collection, like my pulp collection again. It came in very handy when Silver Pulp debuted, and I had to go back and start building those teams. But everybody was so nice. There were a lot of people who donated to a GoFundMe that Rob Peterson set up. I'm still trying to like pay the community back for all of the generosity that they extended towards me during that time. So big thank you to everybody.
Oh, so did you have to take a break from Heroclix during the fire? I mean, because you were still working on units.
Yeah, I remember sitting there in my hotel room. My house just burned down. I'm like, oh, I need to figure out how to add support for these the collector's trove chases that that give you all these free one shots. and I'm like, it doesn't work. And of course, I can't concentrate. My head is like broken at the time because I'm like dealing with the loss of it. But everybody wants to build collector's trove teams. Yeah, it's been very hard rebuilding my collection. Wizkids has also donated to me a ton of stuff. I don't think neither of us have been particularly public about it, but they've been extremely generous. And I really want to say thank you so much to like the company, because they really have helped me out a lot, replacing some of the stuff that I've lost. There's still so much stuff. Yeah, the interesting thing about it is that it's been very interesting approaching the game from somebody who knows everything about the game, but yet has all the problems that a new player who's trying to learn Heroclix has. It's like, oh, now I don't have any dice. I don't have any action tokens. I don't have any objects. It took me, I didn't want to go and buy a starter kit, which I get, or even if you do buy a starter kit these days, like it doesn't give you that many action, or it doesn't give you many cardboard pieces like terrain markers and whatnot. It used to be that we would get, all the fast forces and all of this, the starter kits and fast forces, and all of that stuff would have dice and terrain markers in it. And so what I used to have was tremendous. I had like boxes filled with all this stuff. But these days it's really hard to get that stuff. And it's actually kind of disappointing because you don't want to tell a new player like, hey, well, if you really want that stuff, it's there. You just have to go buy stuff from 6 years ago it's not modern legal. You can't really play with it, but you need it in order to actually play the game these days. Like, oh man, what a bad experience that is, and you don't want to have to buy like multiples of the new starter kit that they put out. So I think that's actually a big miss for them. Anyway, but it's been interesting. The community has helped me out a lot. They've helped me replace a lot of that stuff, but I get a lot of benefits because of who I am that new players don't get. And that's really like sad. We need to find a way of making this game easier to be like more accessible and easier to pick up for new players, because it really is not. And it's been interesting going through this process of having to like rebuild those parts of my collection, as well as just like the high end, the more valuable stuff.
So there's a new play group that's growing about an hour and a half away from me. And thank you for mentioning that, because I'm going to try and find a way to make barrier, debris, hindering, some elevated, just some standard terrain markers so I can take them.
That I think that was probably the biggest thing. And it's like standard objects, kind of hard to find these days, and then you get into like the specialized terrain markers, like trying to hunt down, it's crazy that all of these terrain markers from like Spider-Man Beyond Amazing are still legal and still super relevant. Like, there's a lot of like 2x1 elevated that you can't get anywhere else. So why should I have to go hunt down this starter kit from like, what is it, 4 years ago at this point, in order to like do some what are really fundamental basics of the game. So I think there's things like that where it's harder than it should be to get into this game, and it's kind of sad.
Feel free to pass on this question if you don't want to answer. But when the fire happened, were you and your family there? Were you in safety?
Yeah. So I was working from home at the time. I think, it's actually kind of a funny story. So we were all in the house. We had an issue with our shower in our master bedroom. We had we had one of these things where the shower head protrudes out of the wall up, and then it hangs over and it kind of like pours rain on top of you. Well, it had rusted out and broke it, and so and we after like 3 months of never being able to, I couldn't figure out how to replace it. We finally got some plumbers in there that day. They had to tear open the wall. I paid them like $600 to fix this thing, and then 8 hours later, my house burned. So,
Sorry.
We actually had like our housekeepers there. I had to go pick up my kids from school. It was such a mess. One of my kids got shipped all the way to another part of LA, and we had to find another parent to pick him up and bring him back. But I don't know what I would have done if I wasn't at home, where we could just like pack stuff up and then get out of there. The whole evacuation process was such a total disaster. We have an election here in LA, and I mean, there. Oh God, I could get into I am so unhappy and disappointed with the current administration. And I honestly don't know who I'm even going to vote for this next election, because the whole thing's a mess. But there's an interesting lawsuit that we're involved in. And I don't want to bore you with all the specifics, but it's like as they do discovery and they start to subpoena information and interview witnesses, it's like what's come to light. You can read about this in the LA Times and other sources, but basically there's just massive dysfunction between the local and state governments that really were completely culpable for this fire. Because what had happened was there was a fire that started 7 days before. They put it out. They found it. They put it out. And instead of actually like sitting down and watching the fire like they have done for decades,
like we're trained to do for fire watch with metal welding.
That's right. They have fire watch, right? And instead, there was a protected plant species. And so the state government told them, don't do anything. And in fact, we have a policy of covering up the trail with brush so that that people don't think that it's like a usable trail. Well, they're supposed to do that 6 months after the fire has been extinguished, not 5 days, where all of that then turned to fuel for the fire. And so it's absolute madness. The city wouldn't come in, and the city wouldn't send firefighters because the state parks had told them there was a protected plant species, and the state had fined them like tens of millions of dollars before, and so they wouldn't take action. And so basically, like, neither the state nor the city would do anything, and that's what really caused the fire. They want to tell you that it was like, oh, catastrophic wind event, and like there was some weather, but the mess that transpired that day, I'll never forget it. Like they had no plan to evacuate people. They actually like issued an evacuation like 15 minutes after like they decided they needed to evacuate. They didn't have any policemen or firefighters on the roads. There are some parts of my community where there is like a long road, single road, it's a 4-lane road in and out. They did not tell anybody to they did not set up anybody to direct traffic. So they issued the evacuation order, and everybody starts trying to leave. And then they decide, oh, well, we need to get fire trucks in there. Well, they can't, because they've told everybody to evacuate. So everybody's, using both sides of the road to get out. And so now they can't get the fire trucks in. The level of disorganization is such a mess. But anyways, sorry, this is not a political podcast. This is about Heroclix. We should get back to the topic. But the fires have been a total mess in LA, and
I speak for
I appreciate
the
your
entire Clix community to say that we are grateful that you and your family are safe.
Yes. I'm very fortunate. I did not lose any. I lost a lot of stuff. I did not lose any people or living things, and for that, I'm very, very thankful.
All right, so you have a preferred playstyle? One man army, a lot of complexity, just built-in layers like a Shrek onion.
I like complex teams, but I think I realized that I'm realizing that as I get older and older, it is becoming more and more difficult. Um, I I do play more defensive stuff. I like to come up with, I probably like, Scott Crampton in that regard. I think our play styles are a little similar. I've developed a rule over time though. I don't know if you've ever heard of Occam's razor, where
Yes.
So that if there's two things that you're making decisions between, the thing that is more simple is more than likely the right thing. Well, so my Clay's rule of Heroclix is when deciding between two teams, I should play the team that's more simple, because by the time you get to round 4 or 5 of a tournament, I'm going to be so tired that I will not be able to play that complicated team anymore, and I will lose the tournament. And so I have to keep continually reminding myself that sometimes playing a slightly less optimal team provides advantages to you later on in the tournament. So, I am not Isaac, that's for sure.
When me and the locals and I are getting ready to go to a competitive event, my wife does craft sales. So that last weekend that she has a craft sale, so I can have all the guys over, we will play for 8-9 hours.
Oh my God.
And you're going to play 6 to 7 games just so that way you're mentally prepared. Be like, okay, this is what it's going to feel like.
It is so hard. I think it's one of the things that like we as a community do not talk about. Like it's very easy to watch a live stream of like the finals game and be like, oh man, look at the suboptimal play this guy just made. What a mess. They don't realize this guy's been playing for 8 hours and he's exhausted.
So other than obviously HC units, what would you like to be known for in Heroclix history?
Oh, that's an interesting. I mean, man, you took away my only claim to fame, and you're like, why else should anybody know you? I guess I'd like to be known as, being a nice guy. I think in the end, like if there's one thing I can do, and one of the main reasons why I made HC units, besides the selfish reasons of being able to save my teams, is like I love the game. I want the game to grow and to thrive, and I think, and so I built this tool in order for people to be able to like make the game more accessible, to be able to play the game more easily. And so beyond that, I would just like to be known for being approachable, being fun, like, and I'm competitive like a lot of people, and I know I have my moments, but in the end, I hope that I'm a positive member of the community. That's what I strive for these days.
So I personally don't know Clay, but every time I've seen him and I've like gone up to him, thank you, Clay, shake his hand. He's been very positive, nice guy. I've reached out to him on Messenger, and it's like, oh, hey, what's going on? Yeah, I can do this for you. So yeah, you are that, Clay. You're everything
thank
you strive to be.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I think the longest I've ever had to wait for a response is maybe 2 hours. Like you are on it, man. There was one time I sent you a question about the Wonder Woman trio, that iconic set, and something wasn't working right in units with that. And
I think one of them gives like free equipment. Yeah, there's some equipment.
You had it fixed within like minutes. Like it was crazy.
Well, Wes, you did ask me yesterday to make your circuit for the red, white, and Clix of next year, and I have not done that for you yet.
Well,
so
that's a little more involved, and it's not important because it's a ways off.
We're going to get to it this week, though.
Yeah. So you've been to several of these competitive events. Do you have a favorite? I mean, the people are generally all the same. The people are great. We all understand. The people. We have friends that we would have never met without the game. What about a venue setup or a venue territory? Like, oh, hey, I really love Nashville. That was awesome.
It's really fun.
After parties.
There are like every different type of event has its different set of charms. So I could walk you through what I like about each of them. I don't know if I
Sure.
have a particular favorite. Let's start with Worlds. I think Worlds, if I had to really pick a favorite, it would be Worlds. And it's not, it's not because I love Graceland. I just love that everybody shows up there. Wizkids really does go all out. I think they really tried their best to make it a great experience. And, like that's where you're going to find the most people, that you're going to see the biggest events. They often debut new sets there. It's just so much fun. And if you've never been to Worlds, I highly recommend it.
Fan Appreciation Night is awesome.
Oh, it's great, right?
You can run into the Wizkids employees in the hotel halls.
Yes.
Like I ran into Dova a couple times the last time I was there. I'm like, man, this is just weird, but cool.
Yeah. If you get there, the secret is if you get there the night before, which I have to do because I'm flying east. And basically, if I want to get there on time, I have to get there the night before. All the Wizkids employees are hanging out by the bar at night, just having a drink, having a smoke. And so that's like the best time to have a conversation with them, because it's like the calm before the fire. I really have a lot. I love Origins. They used to run nationals there. They finally brought it back. I think they ran Worlds there for a few times as well.
Yes,
they have so much space there. But the thing that I really love about Columbus is the food options are the best of all the places. They have such good restaurants, and I can't believe I'm saying this because like we have amazing food in LA. We are super spoiled, but Columbus has really, really good food. Like there's a Italian restaurant across the street called Martini. There's a steak restaurant. There's a barcade on the other side of Columbus called the 8-Bit Bar, and there's all these like just really awesome places to go hang out outside of the venue. Dave Newmark does an amazing job with Champion Clix Open. Like you can go to theme parks, before or after the Heroclix run. He does what might be the most professional main Heroclix event. He is extremely well organized. Everything, he has great staff. He cares a lot about everything going very smoothly, puts a huge amount of effort into it and makes sure that it's very well prized. So Dave puts on a great event. CCO
I love the fact that the CCO is usually at a hotel.
Yes.
So it's one stop. You don't have to go anywhere. You can take your Uber from the airport, or if you're close enough from the airport to take the taxi ride or the trolley or whatever it is, and then you're there.
Yes. Yeah. And the only problem I have is I have a hard time leaving the hotel.
You can't get to the door?
Like everything I need is right there.
Yes. I mean, everything is right there. It's awesome that everything is in one spot. Graceland's just across the street generally. Yeah. But if it's raining, then it's like, oh.
But there's nothing else outside of Graceland. And so that's my chief complaint about Worlds. It's like, man, like I feel like you're in a food desert. But anyways, then the last one that I go to, and I apologize for not saying Red, White, and Clix because I haven't been to it yet. But H4H, the Rock Cup, Heroclix for Huntington's, there is something that is just so wonderful about the community aspect of this event. It feels so intimate. I mean, not only do you get to hang out with a celebrity or celebrities, but like, the people who put on the event, Howard, bunch of people that I am failing to name, like they make you really feel at home. They bring that Southern charm to the event. And this year they did move to a hotel. There was a huge, I know there's been a lot of controversy. Honestly, it was a big improvement in my mind from some of the past events. And so I think Howard is continuing to work to improve the event. And he really does care a lot, and he really is going to take everybody's feedback to heart. So I love all the events. I've been going to all the events the last couple of years. I don't know if I really had to pick one, it would probably be Worlds, just because I see that as such a seminal event. But I love going to all of them. They all have great.
So last year, 2025, I was either going to go to Worlds or Red, White, and Clix. And I went to Red, White, and Clix because I'm associated with the show now. And I'm like, okay. I felt like in my head, I had to go to Red, White, and Clix.
Appreciate it.
after going to all those other venues that I've been to, which I've been to Rock Cup, I've been to Howard Store when he had it, I've been to the when he did it in Atlanta, Gen Con. Gen Con is just overpacked with 50,000 other things going on. Haven't been to Origins. I've been to the CCO. The chairs that Wes had last year, above and beyond anything else, I could say these were the best chairs that I've ever sat in for 8 hours right here.
Well, kudos to you, Wes. I definitely did not. I cannot think of great chairs being a highlight of any of the conventions that
it makes a difference.
So. Oh, it totally does.
In 2024, I just had these metal folding chairs, and that was the only complaint I had about the event was people bellyaching about the chairs. So 2025, I was lucky that the Armory had the nice cushy rolling chairs available.
Okay. At the CCO, awesome. I believe it's like office chairs. They had basically office chairs, or they had the cushion chairs that with the metal legs. Wes's chairs, I don't know, for some reason, I want to take one home with me, but I can't get it through the airport.
I appreciate your attention to detail, Wes. Like it's, I mean, you're like going to be sitting in that chair for hours and hours over the course of multiple days. Having a comfortable sitting experience is very nice. So kudos to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. If you can make it out in November, it's going to be off the chain. I'm telling you. I've gone from being a single event to a full nonprofit organization, and we're building up for a whole series of things coming down the pike that Scott's on my board of directors, and we're working on building. I don't want to talk about it yet until things are rock solid, but it's going to be off the hook. It's going to be the best Red, White, and Clix yet. Probably. I'm going to put it out there right now. Red, White, and Clix 26 will be the best event of the year.
Ooh, that's a big
bold statement.
That's a big statement. I will do my best. I can't promise anything. It's a tough time of year for me, quite honestly, all the holidays, and with school and everything. But I'll do everything I can to make sure that it is successful.
One last question about HC units. Do you ever get a errata or a rules change or anything, and you just want to go, "What are you doing to me? You're killing me," because it's so complicated to put into the system?
Oh yeah, that definitely happens all the time.
Map menu.
That's a really good question. What I think, gosh, when was the last time that happened? I mean, certainly like the map menu thing of this week is the more recent thing. It's like, oh gosh, now I have to figure out how to shoehorn this thing into both the team builder and the event page, and is it ever going to be used outside of this? I don't know. So trying to find the balance for.
No, I feel like the map menu
making it hacky versus usable. Yeah.
The map menu for Wizkids is chef's kiss because they can curate saying, okay, we want these maps for this event, and it's going to be a ton of work for you, particularly you, since you're having to curate.
Well, if it's only like 3 events a year, that's no big deal.
No, but I'm saying if Majestics wanted to have a maps menu, or Red, White, and Clix wanted to have a maps menu, or CCO wanted to have a maps menu. CCO's made some maps. Why couldn't they use them for their own event? And you can make it.
My problem with it is exclusivity, because if there's only X number of maps that are legal for that event, and what if I don't have those maps? Then I got to track those down, and I can't just use maps I have on hand.
Because if you're selling your maps at your event, then you can have them available for people to have.
Yes, mine. But I'm thinking about going to other events, and what if I don't have those maps? Like, what if Rock event always decided to run Rock maps, and I don't have Major Brock's Bunker or whatever? I can't use maps I have on hand for that event.
I think they are trying to their credit, I think they're trying to pick maps that are more easily accessible than some of these other maps. And I think they're trying to make the game more accessible by reducing the pool, and therefore like the different things you have to plan for. My main issue is more that I feel like many of the maps on the list, 90% of them are almost exactly the same, and they probably could have just could have just given us 5 different maps to pick from, and it would have had the same effect. I am in the school of thought that a map is the second player's defensive option, It is a key element of like arranging a defense because small maps mean, it's easier to get alphaed. And so seeing maps that a whole bunch of maps that are all wide open with very limited defensive options, that to me is probably the biggest, fail from this decision. But I know there are other people who think, look, you should, your option should be to build a theme team to win the roll off, build a better Alpha Strike team. But that is what it is. I hope the map menu doesn't grow out of control. Otherwise, I'll have to figure out how to accommodate everybody's map menus.
I do have a bone pick with you, sir.
Oh, all right. Let's hear it.
You got me in trouble last year. When I made Jay Patel made the 2 Red, White, and Clix maps, I sent you the schematics of them, and we had revealed one of them, the indoor one, but we hadn't revealed the outside one yet.
Oh, no.
And Jay was like, we're going to keep this secret, right? We're going to keep it secret. Yeah, nobody knows. And then people were like texting Jay. He's like, why do you guys know about this map array? HC units. You were on it that day.
Oh, I'm sorry. I think it's because I think you sent me both. I didn't realize that both of them were not.
I didn't tell you. That's on me. But it was just funny that that night, Jay's like texting me.
He's blaming you for his flub. All right.
No, well, I should have asked.
No, it was on me. I just thought it was funny.
So I know the maps in HC units are much simpler to look at than the ones that we get in hand. Has there been any thoughts on to be able to print those maps? Just
the
for teaching
simplified version?
Yes, the simpler version without all the art.
So
I feel like that would be awesome for new people. Be like, okay, here you go. It's just simple.
Yeah.
Not black and white, but it's close.
The easiest way to do this. All right. So here's what I failed to mention. Before HC units, there was a site called HC Maps. That was my first foray into building a Heroclix website, and it was basically purely dedicated to Heroclix maps. And so basically, what you see in HC units is me pulling data out of HC Maps, the website that still runs. Now, if you go there, there's a little button that allows you to download the map. It's an image of the map. And this is what people use for Heroclix Online or for the Roll20, the online play during the pandemic. That still exists. And so what I do, I'll show you. I print out all the maps and I put these in like little comic book bags, and then I put the maps with them. And so when I go do like a team seal, I know like what maps are in this little bag, and so it's a lot easier for me to like plan on the fly. So I highly recommend you can pull the maps off of hcmaps.net, and here I just stick them in like
it's a board and bag for comics.
Got on a Google Doc and then print it out. And so these are super helpful. Highly recommend that. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
Cell phones, Android or iPhone?
Well, I worked at Google for a very, very long time, so I am very firmly in the Google Android family.
Boo.
I know. I think the majority of people, I can't remember what the stats were. It's been a while since I looked, but definitely the majority of people access HC units on a mobile device, and then the majority of those are iOS users. So, yeah, I'm in the minority, but I will say use Google Chrome. Even if you are an iOS user, it is a much better browser than Safari.
Yes, I like my Google Chrome when I'm on my laptop.
What else you got, Scott?
That's it before the questionnaire, sir.
All right.
The hard part of the interview.
Yeah. So before we hit that, I just want to say thank you for everybody's watched us this far. Scott, what episode is this?
This will be episode 99 since I've been on the show with you.
Okay. So
thank you guys for making me feel so unimportant that you waited 99 episodes before inviting me on the show.
Thank you for everybody's supported us this far. It's been a journey. I'm looking forward to episode 100, and then we are going to do a special giveaway. I don't know if we're going to do it separate from the episode or on the episode, but we're going to do a brick giveaway. But thank you for everybody who watches this far. Thank you everybody who is supporting Red, White, and Clix. It's been an awesome journey getting that going too. The sweepstakes we just did for Origins, we're going to do again for Gen Con. This time we have 4 tickets available. So if you like the Jay Patel maps that we make Clay put on HC units and the lovely t-shirt that Scott is wearing.
Yeah, this shirt, $30.
Yep.
Get you 3 entries.
So check that out as soon as that goes live. It's going to be awesome.
Can I ask, do you have an idea for what's gonna be in your 100th episode? Any spoiler?
I mean, we have a guest for our 100th episode that is a Wizkids former employee.
Oh, very interesting. All right.
And I don't want to ruin anything yet.
Yeah. All right. Well,
I'll say he's one of the most popular people in events.
Wow. All right. I'm very excited. I can't wait to listen to the next episode.
We got episode 101 ready to go too. It's going to be we've been playing Clix. If we're not talking Clix, we're playing Clix. So we have a former guest coming on the show. They're going to play me a game of Heroclix.
Awesome.
To basically rehash the previous 100 episodes also. So I'm looking forward to that one as well.
All right. So Clay Wood. We have a tradition around here called the Clix questionnaire. And what it is you've been playing for a long time. You're very well known in the community. Like, everybody uses your program. Everybody knows who you are. We've been talking to you for an hour. We've been asking you all these questions. But the Clix community doesn't really know you inside and out. They haven't really gotten to know the inner layers of the Clay Woods. And so the scientists at Talkn Clix laboratories have ergonomically designed the perfect questionnaire to penetrate all your defenses, to get inside the inner clay
or the inner wood.
The inner wood. And be fully revealed to the Clix community. Are you prepared to be fully revealed?
Not at all, but I will do my best.
All right. What is a compliment that you've remembered for years later?
Oh my gosh. A compliment. I guess just I was not prepared at all, I guess. I think
these are thinkers. These are the scientists with the white lab coats. They put a lot of work on this.
Yeah. I guess the best compliment that I've received is just like some of the mentors, people thanking me for the mentorship that I've helped them within their careers while at Google, help them navigate the system and I guess,
has your wife ever said you have a nice butt?
No, I am not an attractive human being. So I don't receive those compliments.
Well, she's really short. So she only stands eye level with his butt.
Yes. My wife is 5'3" or 5'2". So yes, she is much shorter than me. I don't know. It's never being too attractive has never been a problem that I've had.
Save some women for the rest of us. All right, need you to choose your end time apocalypse that's not in scripture. Is it going to be zombies? The moon going to collide with the earth? Heat death of the universe?
Well, tie this back to the beginning of the episode. We'll say that it's AI, machines take over, probably cause nuclear. What is it? The war game scenario. The only way to win is cause nuclear annihilation. And I believe this is actually. I think I've read that they've run many simulations, and every single simulation ends up in nuclear apocalypse. So this is what AI comes up with everything.
So is it going to be a Terminator situation where the robots just come self-aware and take over, or is it us abusing the AI and destroying ourselves?
They're almost the same thing a little bit, but yeah, it's probably somewhere in between, but I don't think there's going to be anybody going back in time to save us. Whatever.
Scott, get on it. Well, no, Clay, you're the
Situation.
genius. You start building it.
Oh, you are part of 4 Points Gaming Club also, aren't you?
I am. They invited me into their club a couple of years ago, and I've been extremely honored to be a part of this. I am the least talented of all the people in this.
So you're Mr. Irrelevant on the team.
What's that?
You're Mr. Irrelevant on the team?
That's right. I'm the water boy. I'm like the
You're
intern.
water boy who's designed HC units. Okay,
the 4 points intern. Yeah.
All right, so it's safe to say you are much more intelligent than Scott or I put together. So you're going to solve the age-old question: butter side up or down? You take a piece of bread, you put butter on it, toast, whatever, and you go take a bite. Are you eating it with the butter side up, or are you flipping it and eating it butter side down?
I don't think I've ever eaten any piece of bread with the butter side down. Is that a thing?
Have you ever had a grilled cheese?
I don't eat. I am actually allergic to milk, and so I don't eat grilled cheese sandwiches.
Okay.
So maybe that's why I've never had. But you're right. I guess that makes sense. I just think of like toast. I put butter on it. I put it in my mouth. I don't know.
Just next time you have toast, tomorrow, later this evening, whatever, flip it down.
It's a Texan thing. I don't know. The only two people that have said butter side down are from Texas. I don't know.
It feels like the type of thing you do if you're in Australia. You know, you're like,
Because no, look, I don't even think Mork had his butter side.
yeah, I was gonna say.
Hey, put the butter right on your palate so you can enjoy more butter flavor instead of.
Mark, we need to hear in the content or the comments. How do you eat your toast? This is a very important question.
So I know he listens, so he's going to probably answer.
All right, I need you to name one celebrity you have had in your spank bank.
Celebrity.
Alyssa Milano,
Giant girl.
Selma Hayek.
She's attractive.
Britney Spears.
This list is so large. It's actually a question of where to begin. No, he's not in there. How about Alexandra Daddario or whatever?
Okay, okay.
She's quite an
Acceptable.
I'll take
Acceptable.
that. All right, so Clay, if you're going to be in a comic book story, would you rather be the sidekick of a great story or the superhero of a mediocre story?
I would guess I would probably be the sidekick in a great story. I don't need to be the. I feel like this is a question of: do you want to be the big fish or this, a small fish in a big pond, or a little fish in a big, whatever.
You understand the analogy?
Your analogy is better than my mixed metaphor. I don't need to be the star. But I'd rather it'd be a quality experience. So.
All right, I need you to defend a bad movie that you enjoy.
A bad movie that I enjoy?
Yes.
It's hard because I don't consider them bad movies, but
I know that's most people's issues. They don't consider it a bad movie.
Maybe it would be The Evil Dead 2. I feel like that might. I don't know if it's kind of a cult classic. I don't know if you consider it a bad movie. It's like it's a very seminal movie, but like I don't know, it's pretty low budget, pretty low quality. But man,
I'll accept it.
What they did with it was phenomenal. Like that's one of the funniest horror movies I've ever seen.
Who has taught you the most about Heroclix?
Who taught me the most about Heroclix?
Hard-hitting questions.
It would probably be Pat Upoco. I think he's, for those who don't know, he's founding member of The Rock. He ran the Majestics shop and online portal out here in Los Angeles. He's since retired and moved to Vegas, but he looms very large over the community out here, and I think he has taught me I mean, honestly, like I mentioned earlier, a lot of the stuff that he was doing became very inspirational for HC units. And he taught me a tremendous amount about playing Heroclix as well. He's a great player.
All right.
Would you rather sneeze glitter or cough confetti?
I think I would rather sneeze than cough. Coughing confetti sounds awful. Sneezing doesn't sound as life-threatening.
All right. When you send a text message on your subpar cell phone, do you proofread it before you send it?
Yes, I do. I do typically proofread my stuff, although AI will just rewrite it all for us. So.
Yes, they don't understand that I'm trying to say certain words, not necessarily duck. All right, what is your least favorite holiday?
Probably. This is going to sound horrible. My wife is Jewish, so my wife and my kids are being raised Jewish. So I would probably say like Yom Kippur is my least, so I'm not trying to be anti-Semitic and degrade the poor Jews, but so many of their holidays are such bummers. It's like Day of Atonement, like fasting for a day, like let's have some fun holidays, Jewish people. Let's do I like Halloween and Christmas, things with that feels like we're celebrating and we're gorging ourselves rather than the poor Jewish holidays where they. So, but Yom Kippur seems to be the worst of all of them. I don't know, but maybe it's good to have a day to reflect and to atone. I don't know. It's not very fun.
What is the worst food to eat? Like if you're sitting at a dinner table, you're just passing it by. You're not eating it at all.
Well, for me, since I have this milk allergy, it would probably be something with milk. Yeah. So, a glass of milk.
Breakfast cereal.
Yeah, I eat my breakfast cereal dry, and everybody always looks at me like, "What is wrong with you?"
All right. Would you rather fight?
Good.
Would you rather fight one horse-sized duck or 10 duck-sized horses?
Oh, definitely 10 ducks. Sorry. Wait, sorry. Say that again. Wait.
10
horses.
10 duck-sized horses. So you're fighting 10 horses the size of a duck, or
10,
one duck the size of a horse.
I would rather fight 10 smaller things than one bigger thing.
Would you rather age physically or mentally? I'm surprised it's even a question for you.
That's a tough one. I mean, they're both so connected. It's been my experience. I guess I think I would probably rather age mentally because
Really?
physically it's very like I have the shoulder injury that popped up when I was around 40, and it was extremely difficult to deal with. So it's very difficult to feel debilitated. I think that if I was mentally degraded, I probably would hope that I'm just dumb enough to not realize it.
I am very rarely actually caught off guard by an answer. That one surprised me.
I mean, I agree with him. Mentally, if I could keep my body in my 28-year-old state and my mind continue to grow,
I'd rather be a dumb 28-year-old than Stephen Hawking. So,
all right. You know what a haiku is?
Yes, I'm
familiar
with the concept. Please don't ask me to write a haiku.
All right, then that's a negative. No accepting.
I know it's 3 sentences. Is it 557?
575.
575. Oh my god, I am horrible at writing poems.
It doesn't have to be a poem. It could be a short story. 3 sentences.
You want me to? So, sorry. Anyways, I did not let you finish the question.
I was gonna say if you would challenge me to a haiku, or if you would accept the challenge from me to create a haiku of Wes's topic.
Oh my God.
We've only had 2 people accept it, so it's okay if you don't.
I can't even think. I'm so slow to come up with some of the answers, let alone to be constrained within, 17 syllables. I don't know. I don't know. Whatever. Let's try. What the heck? All right. I can't back down from a challenge.
All right.
After Wes gives us the time, the topic, we have 2 minutes to create it. So then Wes can be like 2 minutes later with the SpongeBob meme.
All right, the topic is Ultron.
Ultron.
And go.
2 minutes later.
All right, Scott, let's hear yours first.
Supercomputer. The drones can be everywhere. You cannot beat it.
All right. Created by Hank Pym, vibranium shell and time travel can never be killed.
Very good.
Very good, sir. Very good.
I do have to give it to Scott, though.
Yeah. His is better.
I mean, you did a very good job.
Very good. Yeah.
I don't actually know if I got the syllables right, to be honest.
Are you a morning or evening shower person?
Morning, definitely. Yeah.
All right. I got a couple of bonus questions here because I forgot to put them into the earlier section. What is your choice of music when you're going to an event?
Like in terms of like genre of music?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I have a 12-hour drive ahead of you. What are you listening to?
I'm like hard rock, metal, stoner rock, that kind of stuff. Tool, Metallica.
Love some Tool.
Yeah, Tool's my band. 9 Inch Nails, love that stuff. I've been listening to a lot of a band called AFI lately. I don't know, totally into this band. So good. Totally underrated.
My son loves that band too, Tool. Who is your favorite superhero or villain?
It's changed over time. It used to be Iron Man when I was younger, and it's funny because it's really not because he was really my favorite hero as much as his comics were the cheapest, so I could read most of the stories. I think over time, this is probably very surprising, but I think my favorite superhero has probably become Thor. Like I've gone back and read almost all of the Thor series, thanks to Marvel Unlimited and all the collected editions. Oh my God, his stuff is consistently the best, from the Jack Lee Kirby, Stan Lee, Jack Kirby stuff, all the way through the Jason Aaron War of the Realms. I mean, it's just been phenomenal. Every era that he has been in, I just love Thor.
Are you real or are you a computer-generated program?
I believe I am real.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, sir. You have successfully
boy.
finished the Clix questionnaire. Now you're fully revealed to the whole Clix community. How does it feel?
I feel so. I feel so wide open. I feel so exposed. That's the right word. Everybody knows everything about me now. I'm expecting a government audit to come through anytime now that I've revealed all my stuff.
How much wood could a woodchuck chuck? A woodchuck could chuck wood.
42.
Nice.
The answer to everything. I love it.
All right. Your reward for answering all those difficult questions is you get to ask us a question.
What is a feature that you would like to see on HC units that you haven't mentioned already?
Ooh. I had an answer for this earlier. I was thinking, I need to ask Clay for this. I'm not real versed in the events side of the things. I used to go in there and create events, but I'm not super versed in it. But I love the fact that I was supposed to it at first, because if the players didn't have an HC Units account, how do I get their teams in there? And then you made it to where the judges can upload a team and put it in there. So I mean, that was the biggest thing when it first rolled out. I'm like, all right, this isn't gonna work right now for me. I could put everything on paper. What would I ask for though? Oh my gosh.
Well, I'm glad to see that I've been able to stump you guys, just like you did me.
Wes, what do you want, Wes?
Man. Anything I can think of is so petty and small. Like,
No, okay. There's so much stuff hidden in there too. Because if you're like, oh, I need to find legacy card, you gotta click the right tab. It's not under properties, it's under whatever. It's under the same thing. It's all there. You just have to find it. You know what I want to play? I want a tutorial video.
Yeah, I've done a couple. The problem is that everything goes out of date so quickly. I think I just change stuff too quickly. So yeah, I need a better tutorial video. I think I was actually going to work with Ian on this. So I need to get back in touch with him.
Is he still doing stuff?
Scott brought up a really good point. I like that, triggered something. Okay, so when you show the legacy figures with the set, right? You click on the figure, and then I'd like to have the buttons of have, want, whatever. I'd like to have a button for the figure or the card, or both. So you can highlight which, because okay, I have War Machine figure. I click that box. If I have the card, I click this box.
Yeah, that's a really good one. I haven't, because it's like you have the dilemma of you need both the card and the unit itself. And so I actually just a couple days ago made it so you can now search for within the advanced search properties, show me all of the units that have a legacy card made of them.
Nice.
Kind of the opposite, not just searching for the legacy cards themselves.
So I always
I
struggle
like the
on
idea of flipping back and forth. That's pretty interesting. Yeah.
When I put my stuff in HD units, I have my whole inventory except for Venom. I haven't put that in yet. But when I get to the legacy part, I'm like, okay, I have the card, but do I click that I have it as I have the card, or have it as I have the figure? And I have that dilemma every time.
I actually think it's really interesting, the idea of like flipping back and forth between the two. I like that a lot. Because there's a link that you can click on the link to and it'll do a search for the legacy card and then pop it up, but then you can't go back. So I like the idea of like doing a back and forth. That's pretty cool. All right, give me an hour. It'll be up.
Yeah, right. All right, Clay, it has been great talking to you. I have talked to you a little bit through Facebook Messenger a few times. I've never talked to you face to face, and I've really enjoyed this conversation. So thank you very much for fitting us into your very, very busy schedule.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I thank you guys for allowing me to join you. It's a great honor to be on your show. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
I do plan on seeing you in November.
Awesome. I will do everything in my power.
Do you have any final thoughts for the evening?
I do. I want to say thank you guys for being such great members of the community, for making great content, and for being and for continuing to put on big events. Like we need great organizers. It's a lot of work. It's very underappreciated. It does not happen without a tremendous amount of effort. And so thank you guys for everything that you're doing to continue to make this game accessible and successful, so that we can all keep playing this crazy thing that we love so much. So thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for those words.
Scott?
Yeah, sometimes we just want to be heard, and listening is one of the kindest things we can do for each other.
All right. Just as a reminder for our regular listeners, because Scott is a slave driver, we've been pumping out 2 episodes a week since we started. So for the last 100 episodes, he'll come out in 50 weeks. For the month of June, we are going to slow down a little bit to 1 episode a week, just because schedules are just so crazy for the next few weeks. But we will get back to it in July. We will have some content. It's going to be slower. But thank you for everybody who's watching us and listening to us. It's been great for the last 100 episodes, plus the ones I did by myself before Scott. It's been a great show. All right. So remember, if you're not playing Clix, you're talking Clix. And as always, keep on Clixing. Yeah, have a good night.
Good night.
Click. With an Android glow, Michigan shame, but we love him though. Hands in the code while the databases grow. Clay would make an HC units flow. Giant size X-Men back in tuna, they were 11, bought a couple figures, now the man's ascended. Knows every rule and every dial, every stat, but says I'm not meta. Imagine hearing that. Update drops at 2 a.m. Clay already patched it up again. Rider falls from the Wizkids sky. Wood gets harder every time they try. HC units loading clean, smoothest that the game's ever seen. Build your teams, track your scores, inventory and expect it for more. Hardwood, deep code, living in the back end overload. Longwood, tall frame, one man carrying half the game. Claywood, build like iron wrapped in lumber, typing patches through the thunder. Claywood, everybody clicking on his units, building teams and getting stupid. An Android user, Wolverine's fan, somehow still a decent man. Worked at Google writing wizard code. No life fueling every server node. Rules update hits and the players all know. Clay's already 10 steps down the road. 90% of every Clix release, storage boxes stacked like world police. Then came fire, ash and smoke, collection gone in one cruel joke. But Clay stood tall, the family pushed through. Community showed what real people do. Playership figures coast to coast because Claywood matters the most. Even lost a shower head he just installed. Universe really said, nah, burn it all. Nasty clicks, human connection, tiny superheroes keeping people together. Not everything belongs to the machine. He loves the fail, the map, the dice, the people at the table. Not just screens, not ad dreams, not becoming machine enabled. He sees the warning signs ahead. Skynet dancing in his head. Science fiction told you fools. Clay just sighs and updates rules. Seymour towering over everybody, more than a foot above his shorty. Seymour, made of iron, built from fire. HC units climbing higher. Click, click, boom, the server's home. Talking clicks, here we come. Click. The wood survives. The code evolves.